Button, loaded first gear, handbrake, let's go, off to a good start, second, third, fourth, getting into fifth, stay outside, hard on the brakes, a little bit of trail braking, carry momentum through turn one, second gear, quick third before you jump, wind out third, back down in the second, keep it tight through the chicane, very quick hands. Approach the jump, gonna have to speed check here. The jump wasn't ready, so we're gonna bypass it this run. Top fourth, down in the third, down in the second with a little handbrake turn. Keep the momentum slide going. Hard on the gas to third, into fourth. Hard on the brakes, down in the second. Fast hands here, get the car rotated. On the gas, lay the rubber down. Carry that speed. And that's your GoPro course preview.
Well, Bucky Lasek makes it look pretty easy, doesn't he? Well, here we go, heat number 2, Jen. Let's take a look at this lineup.
We've got Ken Block, Samuel Hubinet beside him, David Binks, Pat Morrow, and Dave Mira was supposed to be in this heat, but he took a hard landing in the jump and couldn't get the car started.
Well, let's see who's going to get the jump off the line. Ken Block there lined up on the inside. The orange Saab, that is Hubinet, but look at the guy from Newcastle, my hometown, David Binks. Takes it down to the first hairpin.
Great start. I'm glad to see David get a good start there. He was a little bit freaked out before he had a chance to take the jump in practice.
No, he was a lot freaked out. Oh, and Ken Block spins it on the hairpin. This is what Binks was so afraid of, Jen.
Here he is, lined up. And there you go,
nice.
No big thing.
Pat Morrow takes it, but Ken Block, well, that was an unfortunate start for him. Oh, things getting tangled up a little bit there around that hairpin.
You
Binks
know,
now in front of Hubinet as they come back through the ramp.
You know, if they make a little mistake in there, though, that'll give Ken Block an opportunity to catch up. And he's making up some time on this pack. We'll see how if he can get back in it. And
wow.
there goes Bink across into the shortcut. And so now he's way out front.
So the question here I've got, Jen, is the shortcut taken early a really big advantage because you've got such clear track out in front?
Yeah, they've introduced a rule for this one, so you can't take the shortcut on the very first lap because the guy on the inside was just diving in and just getting way out front right at the beginning. But you want to create some space around yourself to race, and that's what David Binks we're looking at right now has. Nobody in his way, nobody to bash doors. He can just run his own lines and be fast and consistent through this course.
So there you see David Binks coming down through the water feature we call the car wash. That's Pat Morrow following him. And really looking comfortable out here in the lead.
Yeah, he was very disappointed after practice. He was a little bit freaked out over the jump until he took it for the first time. And I think he's really found some confidence here. And there he goes, lining up and over the jump again. That was a little bit nose heavy, but nothing too bad. Pat Morrow and Ken Block here.
We've seen really smooth driving once Binks got his confidence up there. But now, interestingly enough, Hubinet is behind Block, but I don't think so far that he's actually taken that shortcut. He must be going to take it on this lap.
Oh, and these guys jostling for position on the course. Now that funnel underneath the gap jump is really interesting. That's a very technical turn, very tight turn. And it's interesting to see what happens as they go in there, whether they can keep it clean. There goes Hubinet.
Let's watch the merge. Hubinet comes out in front. Look at the time he made up on David Binks. That's amazing.
Good job, Samuel. Amazing driving from him to get that far ahead.
And there you see he's going around. He's got a couple of seconds right now on David Binks. And this is a guy who didn't have a ride when he came into Charlotte on the Thursday of that event 2 weeks ago. He didn't have a ride. And somehow he got together with Per Eklund and Andy Scott, and he's in this Saab, and I have to say, looking just blisteringly fast.
You know, he really lucked out to end up in this ride. This is a very competitive car, this Saab. It's a European-built car and very much on par with what we've seen in the class of the field Fords. I think it even looks like it handles a little bit better, but Samuel's a great driver, so maybe we're seeing a little bit of his excellent driving here as he approaches the jump, and over he goes.
Oh, shorting it a little bit there in the jump, and as you were saying earlier on, Jen, when you short that jump, you kind of get that little bounce. So that is it. Sam Hubinet and David Binks are going to advance through to the final. And wow, that was, I have to say, a bad start here for Ken Block. Just something happened with Ken.
Yeah, it wasn't trouble for him until he gets into this hairpin, and then he gets himself into trouble. These two leaders, David Banks, these guys all rotating as they head into the corner, and he just went, I think there was a little tarmac change, and he hit the barrier.
And then Ken Block, it's just all going wrong for him. He's trying too hard, coming through the shortcut. It just doesn't work for him, so he's going to join his friend, Mr. Travis Pastrana, in the last chance qualifier. We've got the third heat coming up here in Texas when we come back.